Hello everybody. If you want to read all the story's content in full, please go to www.steveuk.blog. Thank you. Short story 777, The Hidden Garden. Intermediate. In the year 2153, most cities on Earth stood empty. Tall buildings were covered in green vines. People lived in small, safe zones near the coasts or in floating towns above the old oceans. The air was cleaner now, but the land remembered the old mistakes. Mara worked as a memory keeper. Her job was to walk through the forgotten parts of cities and collect anything that told the story of how humans used to live. She carried a small drone that scanned and saved images, and she always wore strong boots because broken glass and sharp metal still hid under the plants. One rainy afternoon in what was once central London, Mara found something strange. She was exploring an old underground station. The entrance had collapsed long ago, but she climbed through a broken window. Inside, the air smelled different. Not damp and dirty, but sweet like flowers after rain. Her drone light showed rows of metal boxes along the walls. They looked like old ticket machines, but bigger. She touched one. It made a soft click and a small door opened. Inside was a garden. Not a normal garden. This one grew under bright white lights that still worked after more than 100 years. Tomatoes hung red and heavy. Lettuce leaves were bright green. Small yellow flowers grew between herbs. A thin stream of water ran along the floor and disappeared into the dark. Mara stood still. She had never seen so much food growing in one place. Most people ate food made in factories or grown in big glass buildings. Real soil and real plants were rare. She walked deeper. There was a small metal sign on the wall. Project Eden, last reserve, for when the world forgets how to grow. Next to the sign stood an old touchscreen. It still had power. Mara pressed it carefully. A woman's voice spoke, calm and kind. "Hello. If you are hearing this, the world has changed. We built this place in 2041 when we saw the farms failing. This garden can feed about 50 people forever if you care for it. The lights run on geothermal energy from deep below the city. The water comes from a clean underground river. The seeds are special. They grow without chemicals. Please do not take everything at once. Share it. Teach others. Keep it alive. We failed to save the big world. Maybe you can save the small one. My name is Dr. Sophia Khan. I hope someone finds this before the batteries die." The screen showed a photo of a smiling woman with short black hair standing between tomato plants. She looked happy. Mara felt tears in her eyes. She had spent years collecting broken things, old phones, cracked photos, rusty toys. This was different. This was alive. She stayed 3 days. She learned how to pick only what was ready. She cleaned the small water filters. She talked to the plants like Dr. Khan probably did. On the 4th day, she called her team on the radio. "I found something important," she said. "Not an object, a place, a garden that still works. I think we should bring people here, not to take, but to learn." Her boss sounded surprised. "Is it safe?" "It's more than safe," Mara answered. "It's hope." Weeks later, small groups started coming. First children, then old people who remembered real fruit, then young farmers who wanted to understand soil again. They did not empty the garden, they made new ones in other old stations, copying what they learned. Slowly, green began to spread underground, like a secret promise between the past and the future. Mara kept Dr. Sophia Khan's photo in her pocket. Sometimes she looked at it and whispered, "Thank you, we're trying." And in the quiet tunnels beneath a sleeping city, tomatoes still grew red, lettuce still reached for the light, and one small garden kept teaching the world how to start again. Vocabulary notes. Derelict, adjective, meaning of a building or place in a very poor condition because of neglect or lack of care, abandoned and ruined. Example, Mara walked through the derelict underground station, stepping carefully over broken glass and rusted metal. Similar words, abandoned, left empty and no longer used. Dilapidated, old and in bad repair, often used for buildings. Ruined, completely destroyed or damaged beyond easy repair. Vibrant, adjective, meaning full of energy, color and life, bright and strong. Example, the garden was vibrant with red tomatoes hanging heavily from the vines and bright green lettuce leaves reaching for the light. Similar words, lush, growing thickly and healthily, especially plants. Vivid, very bright and clear, often for colors or descriptions. Thriving, growing or developing very well and strongly. Geothermal, adjective, meaning relating to heat from inside the earth, often used for energy or power. Example, the lights run on geothermal energy from deep below the city. Similar words, solar, coming from or produced by the sun's energy. Hydroelectric, produced by using the power of moving water. Renewable, able to be replaced naturally and never used up, describes energy sources like geothermal. Condensation, noun, meaning small drops of water that form when warm air touches a cold surface. Example, condensation beads on cold metal pipes running along the ceiling. Similar words, dew, small drops of water that form on cool surfaces outdoors, especially at night. Moisture, a small amount of water in the air or on a surface. Mist, very fine drops of water in the air that make it hard to see clearly. Renewal, noun, meaning the process of making something new, fresh, or active again after a period of being damaged or forgotten. Example, the garden represented a single pocket of renewal hidden deep beneath a broken world. Similar words, regeneration, the process of growing again or being made new, often used for damaged areas or nature. Revival, bringing something back to life or activity after a time of being quiet or weak. Restoration, returning something to its original good condition. Story written by Grok 4. Image created by onemin.ai. To read all the story's content in full, please go to www.steveuk.blog. Thank you. CC Music, drifting at 432 Hz, Unicorn Heads.